If you read the internet, the best way to buy a house these days is to be born in the 60s, to inherit money, or to be very, very patient. So, we all live with mum and dad? Good point. Will we all stay with our parents? And eventually, what will happen to the housing market? Will it stabilize, or can we solve it? Hi, my name is Hannah, and I'm a community manager at the European Commission. Every week we get thousands of comments. Fun ones, and not so fun ones. And yes, we read your comments. We appreciate them, and we'll answer them. So, first question. What is Europe actually doing about housing? Instead of nothing. First, we boost construction. Okay, but how can we do this? By investing in new, faster construction tech, like better materials and quicker methods. Also, we have seen that overcomplicated regulations in the member states and regions sometimes slow down the construction of new homes. So, we wanted to simplify this, to remove unnecessary paperwork that slows down builders. And the goal? More homes, lower prices. Second, convert unused buildings, like offices, into homes. And third, renovate. Make existing buildings suitable for housing again. These last two are part of the European Affordable Housing Plan. Some of you also have concerns about short-term rentals and speculation. Speaking of which, prices are pushed up by investors. Short-term rentals, lack of supply, not workers struggling to survive. He's got a point. Do you know how many comments we got on this particular topic? Loads. So, about the short-term rentals, what can Europe do? From May 2026, the EU requires rental platforms to send their booking data to national authorities. Sharing this data will make it easier for local governments to enforce their rules. To safeguard housing supply, they could limit rental nights for tourist apartments or limit the permits for short-term rentals in tourist areas. I'll say it again. More supply means less pressure on prices. Right now, we're also looking more closely at the market and how prices change to avoid speculation. That's how it works. On paper, at least. But houses aren't built on paper. So we stepped outside and asked for your opinion about this on the street. First question, what does your dream house or apartment look like?
Like a big house, countryside.
It's a nice garden in a good area. Forests and mountains, if possible, in range.
I always dream about having fireplace.
I dream to live on a farm.
I would say a house, not an apartment, without spending a lot of energy.
And where would this dream house be in the world?
I think I would love to settle here in Belgium.
In Belgium or France? Why not?
Right now it is where I am. Brussels seems definitely to be a nice city.
Do you think the EU can or should do something about the housing crisis?
The housing crisis is mostly low-income families have a specific issue. If they have a lot of money, housing is not a problem. But it's not generally an EU topic per se, I would say.
It's never easy to answer. We should have a minimum amount of money and a maximum so that everyone could afford and could try to fit in, you know.
Control on some temporary housing, which can eventually reduce the availability of housing for people like me who are regularly living in the city.
I think maybe first of all raise the salary so people can have a better chance to rent a house or even buy a house.
And we're back. Let me read another comment. Any sort of renovation, first of all, faces major bureaucracy for the renovation permits, which could take years to obtain. On the other hand, renovation costs are very high. Basically, renovation only works if you can afford it. But that's where EU funding comes in. Our aim is to renovate 24 million buildings by 2035. And let's talk money. We help public financial institutions to invest 375 billion across the EU by 2029. To give you a perspective, this amount is about 40 times the cost of the Olympic Games in Paris, or about 70 times Malta's national annual budget. Now, let's get cracking on the more tricky questions. EU. Let national governments mind their own business. Stop making everything an EU topic. No, we're not a national government. But does the EU have the power to fix this? Well, we are here to help with the tools that we have. We put money where it matters and where it delivers. And with this plan, with these investments, with these laws, support national governments in tackling it. We make sure that the countries learn from each other's solution. That would make it easier for you to buy or rent a home in the long run. And finally, the hardest question of them all. When can we see results? So, the European Affordable Housing Plan was launched in 2025. More money will flow in the coming years. Realistically, the best answer will depend on how all the countries, regions and cities join us in this huge effort. The faster the delivery from them, the faster the results. So that's it for You Asked on affordable housing. Which topic do you want us to make a video about next? Let us know down below. If you want to check out our next episode, we're taking a look at your comments again in 2 weeks.